there are books to be read, there is joy to be had. Oh my god, is it too early in the year to say that I'm having the best reading year? Is it? But it feels to me like I get really good books in the middle of the year. There are quite a lot of new releases in time for summer because I guess people have more time to read. So I always find a lot of variety, diverse reads that are just so exciting. But this year, I don't know what's happening. I think the book gods are aligning because I feel like I've gotten some really, really good reads. These 5 books have some interconnectivity. If I was to start a syllabus on something, I am sure I could find a very nice connecting thread between all of them. They're so different authors, different backgrounds, different parts of the world, but you kind of come back, and when you're reflecting on them, you see that there's something here for everyone. And when I was picking out books to read, I didn't have like a theme in mind. I didn't have like, oh, an idea that this is what I want to focus on. This is the area that I want to, to be reading on. They just came to, I was just perusing my TBR and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. And you read a book and you realize, oh my god, I have been reading on the same things. And don't you love when that happens? It's the same thing with films. Like when I'm watching one film and then I watch the next one, and I find that they have connecting themes, and I'm like, oh, that was not on purpose, but I love it. February was a bad reading month. I was in a slump. None of my books looked enticing enough. Yet I have 1,000 book TBR. Maybe I'm underselling that. Maybe it's more. But anyway, I wasn't finding anything that I wanted to read. But then in March, I was like, no, I really need to be serious because there are goals to be met, there are books to be read, there is joy to be had. So I really wanted to, ease myself into reading, get some really good books, and I did. It's really a mindset. A slump is just a mindset. That's what I learned. And I can go on and on and on about all the books that I read, but 5 books were the standouts. Not that the other books were not great. They were lovely, they were exciting, but these 5 were just so life-changing, life-affirming, and the books I still think about all the time. I'll be doing something and I'll be thinking, oh my god, I just read the best book. Oh wow, I wonder how that author did it. Such kind of books that you want to talk about with your friends, you want to write about, you want to just think about because they were so good. They were so good. The first book is My Train Leaves at 3 by Natalie Guerrero. We follow Xiomara. Xiomara is the main protagonist. This is sort of a coming of age that explores grief, ambition, and family dynamics. It was so interesting to see how this protagonist is navigating grief and this new stage in her life with all the dreams she had put aside. Grief really takes away a lot. It strips you of so much, and one of those things is the ability to dream, the ability to have hopes about the future, to want things. And Xiomara is in that place where she now needs to go back to wanting things, and no one tells you how to do that. No one tells you, oh, at this point in your grief, you will need to kind of bring yourself back to the living. And it's interesting now to see, Sio kind of navigate that. This is a debut, and I love that the author was not afraid to make Xiomara messy, because grief is messy, life is messy. So she was sometimes very, not unlikable, but you'll want to turn your nose and say, no, I wouldn't do that. But you will, because unless you are in that situation, it's very easy to be like, oh, I wouldn't do that. But I think, it's very human to fall when you're in the depths of despair. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Yes. The second book was Immaculate Conception by Ling Huang. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right because I love that author. I can't wait to read her other book and any other books that she would want to release in the future. Immaculate Conception changed me. I don't know. Am I exaggerating? I am not. That I think about that book at least once a day, just in passing, because the amount of themes that were juggled, and not only juggled well. There were so many things happening, and there was a point where I was like, oh my god, so many things are happening. What's going on? But even in that frustration, I still understood everything that was going on. And not only understand, I was riveted. There was not a moment of boredom. Because I find sometimes when books are trying to, talk about a lot of things at once, it kind of gets boring. There's a lagging in the middle, which very understandable. But in this case, you just want to push through because you do not believe what you just read in the last chapter. So you kind of have to confirm that these things are happening, and this is a person. And I don't know, she was so unlikable. She is in fact hateable, because unlikable is putting it mildly. But I loved that. I'm sorry, I did. The hubris of artistry. As an artist myself, I do understand the need to be the first, be the best, be the one that produces, the most interesting thing, the most original. But the length that our protagonist goes through, the length that she goes to, no. I'm sorry. No, thank you. In the pursuit of greatness, I shall be sitting down because I'm not doing all that. But she did. And we go through, motherhood, technological advancement in art, what that means, what will that look like, in the coming years, considering we are living in the age of AI. Friendship and envy, and these are usually very heated conversations. These are usually very heated conversations that people have all the time, because if is it ethical, is it morally wrong to be jealous of your friend? I have my own thoughts on what jealousy and envy can do to people, and I feel like this actually, I don't even need to have my own thoughts. Okay, I do. That's just a joke. I do have my own thoughts on what envy and jealousy can do to a friendship. But I refer to the book Immaculate Conception. It's just, I feel like it covers it so well. It was Seven Daughters of Dupree by Nikesha, Elise Williams. So this follows the Dupree women as they navigate womanhood, loss, ancestral inheritance, love. It's all these things, and we see them through different generations from the 1800s to 2000. And all these women have been born in different times. Yeah, they've been brought up in varying degrees of. They've been brought up in different times with different resources available to them. So to find a point of connection with all of them, and all these women were interesting. I think I had a favorite, just because it's hard to read about different people and not have a favorite. I think I did have an area that I found more interesting than the rest, and there's a specific woman whose life I wanted to know more of. But ultimately, I feel like the author really brought out each woman beautifully, and brought out their story so well. It's another debut. Am I lying? Okay, I'm not sure if it's another debut, but it was debuted in my house, and I loved it. I did. The next read is Solitaria by Eliana Alves Cruz. We go to Brazil, where we follow a mother-daughter relationship. Who doesn't love a mother-daughter relationship? But this relationship is just a vessel as we go through classism, racism, colonialism, a lot of isms here, injustice, and what it means not to repeat your mother's life. you love your mom, but you love her enough not to repeat her life. And in that quest of you liberating yourself, you also end up liberating your mom. It was beautiful. I loved how the the characters connected. I loved how different characters related in this book, and it left me with a lot to think about. In the end, after the last page, I was like, oh my god, because it talks about what it means to be the help. It's such a good read, short and very beautiful. Last book and my most recent read is Dominion by Addie Citchens. I love the movie Hong for Jesus Save Your Soul by Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown. I find it funny, but more than the fact that it's funny, it's just a very it's an examination on church culture, and just you should watch the movie. The movie is great, but because of the movie, when I saw the Blood for Dominion, I knew this is something that I would love, and it's set in a fictional town in Mississippi, and it's about this pastor's family and the consequences of choice. Then we have the Madonna whole complex brought out, and to think it follows this first lady, the first lady of the church, and one of the congregation members, Diamond, a 16-year-old girl who has a stripper's name according to the first lady of the church. So you wouldn't think they have a lot in common, 16-year-old and maybe a 40, 50-year-old woman, but they do. They have so much. And I feel like these two characters were on the same road, they just didn't know it. Seeing this road and seeing this path and seeing them walk on it and getting to the destination and feeling very satisfied. I loved the ending of this book. More than anything, I loved the ending. Yeah, and that's it. Those are the 5 books that have really stood out this past quarter. I do hope that the next quarter is even more exciting, because if this is how I started the year, then I'm excited for my next reads. So yeah, tell me if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them.